wanted to show you real quick what you can do with this website called BibleHub. So what we're going to do is we're going to come right here and we are going to search for the passage that Jeff is preaching on today. He's in Lamentations, right? And we're going to look at Lamentations 3 because that's where he's going to camp out. And what I like to do is I like to take it over to this HCS, the Holman Christian Standard Bible. It's one of the few Bibles on here that when you have it pulled up, every single word is hyperlinked to basically a concordance that's going to give you definitions. This is the Strong's Concordance, going to give you Hebrew words and their definitions and where else they are in the Bible, right? And so this is really nice. If you're in a New Testament place, it'll give you, the Greek word and its translation. So, I find that really helpful. And if you don't know Hebrew and Greek, you can still do this, right? And so here's our kind of central part of this passage, right? Because of the Lord's faithful love, we do not perish, for his mercies never end. New every morning, great is your faithfulness. We all sang that song growing up. We know these words, but it's cool to kind of dig into them a little bit. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on this faithful love because that looks interesting. That it looks like faithful love is one word. So I'm going to click on that and pull that open here. I'm going to see that it's hesed, which I've heard that word before. Maybe you have. And it's often translated goodness, kindness. And look over here on the right, and we have this concordance of all these other places that shows up in the Bible, often translated loving kindness or mercy. We're seeing all these. And then, I see Exodus 34. Now, that's a passage that I know. I know that's one that is quoted often in the Bible. This is God passing before Moses and proclaiming his name and who he is. He says, Yahweh, the Lord God, compassionate and gracious, slow to anger, and abounding in loving kindness and truth. Okay, so we'll hold that for now. Let's go back to Lamentations 3, see what else we got going on here. The Lord's faithful love, we do not perish. His mercies never end. Let's check out this word mercies, because we've got these attributes of God going on here. We have racham, compassion. Okay, and so I wonder is that in Exodus? And it's looking like it's not in Exodus here, this Exodus 34 passage. But if I go back, I see in my English translation I have compassion. And if I can click on this, then I see that this word, it's rachum instead of what we have here. Sorry, where was I? Racham. They're related words, compassion. And then in the Exodus passage is rachum, compassionate. And it's a word that's always used of God. It says down here, this adjective is always used of God. This compassionate or full of compassion, merciful. Okay, so that's cool. Now I've got this hunch that Lamentations 3, he's kind of riffing off of this description of God that we see in Exodus 34. It's quoted throughout the Psalms over and over again. So we've seen his faithful love. We've seen his mercies. Let's look at this word faithfulness. And so click on faithfulness. Check it out, and it's amuna. All right, or imuna. See, I don't know Hebrew. I don't know how you say that. But it's firmness, steadfastness, fidelity. Okay, so does that show up in Exodus 34? It doesn't. It interestingly shows up in the story when they were holding up Moses' arms, right? His hands were steady. They were faithful, steadfast. So that's cool. But let's go back and look at Exodus 34. Exodus 34, it says he's compassionate and gracious, slow to anger, abounding in loving kindness and truth. Oh, and it's interesting, as I hold over truth, it tells me a little definition of it, but let's click on it. See here, it's emeth, where we get the name emet from. But firmness, faithfulness, truth. Now these words seem related, don't they? And if you look down here, we see the word origin from aman. And if we go back and we look at, if I can find it, sorry. We look at this word that we had in Lamentations, it's also from aman. Firmness, steadfastness, fidelity. They're from this related word. So let's look up aman, and what does this mean? To confirm or to support. And so these words are kind of cousins. Anyway, that's just a quick way of kind of looking through here and maybe getting a clue as to what the writer of Lamentations is doing. As he is reflecting on the situation that he's in, he's reminding himself of this truth that he's heard from when he's been a young baby, hearing this over and over again, these lines that Yahweh, the Lord God, is compassionate and gracious, slow to anger, and abounding in loving kindness and truth. And he's trying to reconcile that with the experience that he is having in his day-to-day life. And this is a great tool for us to see what the biblical writers are really getting at and what they're trying to explore and how they're getting through these thoughts and these words.